This is a cause that's near and dear to us, and to have other people come out and support what we believe in. Sorry?
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah,
Is a bit overwhelming.
My wife is from Wichita. It was big for us to build our presence a little bit more with our foundation.
We wanted to find something that meant a lot to the local community here in Kansas and Wichita.
Being our first time, we were a little nervous how things could go and how things would play out, but I think it went swimmingly.
Adam and I have talked for years about how do we want to give back. I told Adam, okay, infertility, like how much more personal could it be? This is the Maddie. Adam and I married in 2017 and started trying for a family basically right when we got married.
You always expect everything to go smoothly. When you become a statistic, then you start to realize where we were in our life and our age of how difficult it can be.
I never knew anyone who had miscarriages. My mom had 5 pregnancies, 5 kids, so I had built up getting pregnant so much that I was totally blown away that it wasn't gonna just be like, okay, this is it for us.
It was very traumatic. Just seeing her, you know, so sad. You can't say there'll be another time, but she just couldn't believe it.
At that point, I told Adam, I wanna stop. I don't wanna try, I wanna actively not try because my mental health is just shot.
The hardest part was seeing my wife the way she was. That took some time to really, honestly, I think, get her back on board about even having a family and just figuring out what the next step was.
We did not have any plans to try and get pregnant till we went through IVF and did genetic testing and tried to not end up in the same position we had been in. So we did IVF. Everything looked great on paper, but ended up with, I think it was like 1/4 of the embryos you should have.
We chose to genetic test to screen those embryos to make sure that they were healthy and that we wouldn't run into a situation that we had the previous couple years.
The doctor calls and he's like, all right, I've got good news. The only embryos you guys got are both normal, and one's a boy and one's a girl.
And so ultimately we decided to put both in.
Went to the ultrasound really early, like 6 weeks.
Unfortunately, there was only one heartbeat, but fortunately we had one heartbeat. At that point, we started to be cautiously optimistic because we had gone through all of these steps. She knew from working with the reproductive endocrinologist that she was healthy. She should be able to carry a baby to term.
Maddox was born January 2020.
I didn't know she was pregnant, and I get a text from her, and it's a shot of her in the hospital bed holding a baby. And so I immediately call her, and she goes, we didn't want to say anything until, of course, we knew everything was going to be okay, which is completely understandable.
Through everything, the journey to have a child of our own was done. And thankfully, she was very healthy, and she continues to be that way and grow up.
Maddox is genuinely the most full of life child I've ever met. She is extremely outgoing, social, life of the party.
She is one of the happiest kids I feel like I've ever seen. She is the Energizer Bunny. She just keeps going and going.
Where you going? Hey, you guys stay out of the water.
Now that we have our foundation and I talk to couples and other women, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, actually this is extremely common and people have gone through a lot more. It's just not talked about. Same with genetics.
A couple years ago, I met Jessica, And we were talking about the comprehensive specialties that the department is trying to provide for the state. One of those is genetics. She shared the difficulty that they had finding a genetic counselor and having the testing done that they wanted and having that testing interpreted.
We developed a genetic testing fund, and it goes direct to families in the whole state of Kansas.
The Hadwin Family Foundation supports patients at Wesley Children's Hospital through partnership with our Department of Pediatrics Genetics Division, our neonatal specialists in the neonatal ICU, and then also the obstetrics and gynecologists that specialize in perinatal medicine and maternal fetal medicine. We're looking for those families that need genetic testing or genetic counseling and may have a financial burden to obtain those things.
After we had both pregnancy losses and we got into genetic testing, that was doing full karyotypes on myself and on Adam to show us why those pregnancies didn't go to term. And they were two unrelated things.
She was like, I don't want anybody to be where I've been, and which is the beauty of the grant for genetic testing, because then you can kind of find out the underlying cause.
It's great to see the same people come back every year, still share the same enthusiasm that they've had from the get-go, and just have a great day golf.
My goal for the foundation is to just continue to exist in the space of pregnancy loss and infertility awareness, and continue to do what we're doing right now with 2 IVF grants a year and our genetic testing fund for families going through pregnancy loss.
I remember her saying to me, if we help one couple have a child, then I will consider it a success.
The support and the fundraising that we did went directly to IVF for a family that now has their baby.
She wants more now, but we can always say that we helped at least one couple have a baby, which I think is pretty cool.
The unique vision and advocacy that the Hadwin Family Foundation has in our community and that you guys are all a part of is really very special. It's really not a numbers game, it's really being prepared for the next one that needs it. We don't want this to be very frequent, but when it happens, we want families to experience the little bit of peace of mind that can come from knowing that there's access and that we can ease the financial burdens of that.
I'd love to see the foundation grow and people support us because they're moved by our stories and our family's stories and they can relate to it. We say all the time, well, I can't imagine not having Maddox. So seeing our grant recipients have baby Leo, we have hit the milestone that I would have thought makes it enough to have went through the work and to continue to go through the work.